Hi, this is Andrea Walford, founder of Sunny Stampin' Incorporated and the Paper Crafters Library. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this fun and easy birthday card. I'm going to start by assembling my card base. Here I've got a piece of Raspberry Fizz cardstock from Paper Tray ink that's 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I ran it through my Big Shot using Stampin' Up's Perfect Polka Dots embossing folder to give this really nice raised polka dot texture. Now I've placed a little bit of my double-sided adhesive on either side at the back because I'm going to take a piece of basic black satin ribbon from Stampin' Up and I've cut it to about 3/4 inches bigger than the size of the cardstock on either side. And I'm going to lay it across and then fold the ends of the ribbon around back and stick it to the adhesive at the back. So there you can see what it looks like. Then using my double-sided adhesive, and this is Thermoweb that I'm using, I'm going to center and stick this to my card base. And for my card base, I took a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of basic black cardstock from Stampin' Up, scored it at 5 1/2 inches, and then folded it in half to create a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. So now that I've got my card base assembled, I'm going to set that aside and work on my image. So now I've stamped this tall birdcage image from Stampin' Up's Aviary stamp set onto a scrap of Whisper White cardstock in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm then going to take the bird image with the long legs from that same stamp set and I'm going to stamp it in Stampin' Up's Melon Mambo Classic ink. The color coordinates beautifully with the Paper Tray Raspberry Fizz cardstock. In fact, if you don't have Raspberry Fizz cardstock, you can substitute with Stampin' Up's Melon Mambo cardstock. So now that my image is stamped, I'm going to use my paper snips and I'm just going to cut out the birdcage, leaving a very slight white border around it. Now that my image is cut out, I'm going to add a couple of small pink rhinestones using my tweezers. And I'm going to add one at the top of the birdcage, and then I'm going to add one on top of each of the little feet of the birdcage. Here I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I die cut using the Spellbinder's long rectangles nestability. Now this rectangle is 1 7/8 by 4 inches. I've already gone ahead and stamped the stand for the bird cage onto it in my Tuxedo Black ink. So now using two Stampin' Dimensionals, I'm going to stick the actual bird cage with a stamped bird over my bird cage stand. And using the Stampin' Dimensionals gives it a little bit of height and dimension. I also die cut this scalloped rectangle using the Spellbinder's scalloped long rectangles, and I chose the size that coordinated with my rectangle size. So I'm just going to center and stick this piece on top. So it looks like that. So now I'm ready to add the greeting. I created a sheet of my own greeting labels that included bird puns such as happy birthday to you, it's your birthday greetings, etc. And I'm providing this as a downloadable PDF handout on my blog at www.andreawalford.com. Now I took this PDF and I printed it out onto Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up, and then I just trimmed the greeting that I wanted. I left an even border around the left and right sides of the top and a little bit of a longer area at the bottom. So I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm just going to run it along the bottom of this greeting. Then using the lines on my grid paper as a guide, I'm going to stick this greeting to the back of my scalloped rectangle. Now as you can see here, some of the greetings come all the way to the edges, whereas others, like the one I chose to use here, has a little bit of room on either side. In order to fill in some of that white space, you can add a few of your little rhinestones on either side. So I'm just going to put a few rhinestones both before and after the greeting using my tweezers. So as you can see here, I've added 3 little rhinestones before and 3 rhinestones after. So I'm now ready to add this onto my card. To do that, I'm going to use 4 Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put this in the center of my card. You can always use the embossed polka dots on your card as a guide to make sure the image is straight. And your project is now finished. Well, if you enjoyed this video tutorial and the way I teach, and you'd like to learn even more, I invite you to check out the Paper Crafters Library. It's an online library of paper crafting video tutorials. It'll teach you things like how to use the products and supplies you already own. You'll learn some great tips and techniques, and we share some fantastic project ideas.